Naoya Inoue didn't shock America by being loud or flashy. He shocked America by making elite fighters look completely unprepared.
I need Inoue to do is, I need him to come fight in the U.S., random blood and urine testing. He take a lot of my stuff from my playbook.
And he made him look ordinary. I've never seen Fulton so tentative, and it was by a smaller guy.
When he stepped into the American spotlight, fans expected resistance, adjustments, and long tactical battles. Instead, they saw a fighter who erased those options almost instantly. That gap between expectation and reality is what created the fear around him. By the end of this video, you'll understand why Inoue's knockouts aren't just powerful, they're engineered, and why every American champion studying him now is trying to solve a problem no one has figured out yet. When Inoue faced Nonito Donaire for the first time, many American fans believed the veteran's experience would expose the younger champion.
He's the top fighter in the world in pound per pound. You know, I fought guys who were the best in the division, but not a pound per pound guy like now.
It comes down to a lot of things, you know. I think the best guy that I faced, and maybe perhaps if I was younger, it might be a different story, but at the moment of who I am in this time, I would say Inoue is the toughest that I've faced, or the strongest that I've faced.
Inoue is probably or potentially the best fighter that you face in the career. What is it about him that gives you that distinction?
I think it was like facing the younger. You know, there's just a lot of similarities in terms of power, explosiveness, and sometimes intelligence. You know, but I think a lot of it is given the similarities is what makes it more difficult.
Instead, Inoue controlled the early tempo with a precision that never felt rushed. He wasn't hunting for damage, he was studying reactions. Even after suffering a fractured orbital bone during the fight, he never lost his structure. He adjusted the distance, simplified his combinations, and made sharper reads. The victory wasn't dramatic, it was controlled through adversity. That was the first real sign he was different.
Broke him down. Ooh.
118?
Yeah, him.
Who the hell fights in that division?
Bantamweights.
Yeah, but who?
Some bad Yeah.
The rematch changed everything in its own way. Inoue didn't approach it emotionally, he approached it clinically. From the opening bell, he stepped into range with authority and dismantled Nonito Donaire in just 2 rounds. The American audience didn't respond with outrage. They responded with silence, because the performance didn't feel competitive, it felt inevitable.
Naoya, if he's thinking to moving up in the weight division, I hope that I can teach him and supervise his workout and training.
また新たなステージで挑戦していきたいと思います。
My aim is to be an undisputed champion. If I can do that within a year of 2022, I would love to stay in this division. But if I can't, I am capable of raising my division and to fight again for the upper division.
Then came Stephen Fulton. Fulton was highly respected in the United States, smart, defensive, and deeply tactical. The narrative heading into that fight was that Naoya Inoue would finally face someone capable of matching his ring.
It was a good fight. I think Fulton has more skills. Monster got monster power, so you know it's just we got that neutralizer. I think it's a good fight. I'm definitely going for Scooter. It's my Muslim brother. I've been knowing Scooter since we were kids.
Man, I'm leaning towards Fulton. I hope he bring it back to the United States. I hope he go out there and do good, and I wish him well.
Have you got it in that fight? Do you think you could finish him, or do you think it would be a competitive decision and he gets the word on the scorecards?
Well, I don't know. I think it's going to be a tough fight for both fellas, and the better man is going to win that day. I think Stephen Fulton is the stronger guy that not only bigger and stronger, but he has skills too. You know, it's one thing a lot of people say, oh, well, this guy is big, this guy is strong, but skills pay the bills, and Floyd proving that.
Instead, Naoya Inoue dismantled him round by round. The jab controlled space, the foot placement forced angles, and the bodywork drained movement. By the time the finish arrived, Fulton wasn't making mistakes, he was simply reacting to pressure he could no longer solve. That knockout wasn't explosive chaos, it was a gradual collapse.
Asked this a million times, but what made Inoue so difficult to figure out that night?
It wasn't what made him difficult. It's my body to do the things, like come back. Yeah, it wouldn't allow me to do the things. I rehydrate and everything. It wouldn't allow me to do things that I wanted to do. But, you know, we'll see him when we get another belt and probably at a different weight class.
Okay.
Said I picked Inoue to win, but I thought it would be a much more closely contested fight than it was. And listen, I'm not dissing Fulton. He was just blown away by a person whom I now consider. I was wavering a little bit, you know, but I now consider after having watched that in its entirety, looking at a generational talent.
Yeah.
And Fulton is still a good fighter. I don't want people to start shredding him and throwing him under the bus. No, he's still a good champion. Well, ex-champion now. He's still a very good fighter who can come again. It's just that yesterday, man, he was in the presence of greatness, in my view.
I'm proud of the fact that I put Inoue on my pound-for-pound list, I don't know, 3 years ago. Whatever it was. I don't even know how long.
That's true.
And no one...
You've been on him before I even knew.
Ken, no one had him anywhere near it. They basically barely knew who he was, as you just touched on. And obviously he dominated Fulton, or at least put it this way, he established control right from the start. He made Fulton's a defensive counterpuncher. He made him concentrate more on defense and surviving than Fulton really wanted to early. He set the course of the fight.
That was the pattern against Marlon Tapales for undisputed status. The early rounds were patient. Inoue didn't force exchanges. He measured distance, touched the body, and probed the guard. Then the tempo shifted. When Tapales slowed even slightly, Inoue accelerated with combinations that arrived like clockwork. The finish didn't feel shocking. It felt like the final step of a plan already unfolding. This is where the fear begins to make sense. Inoue doesn't simply overwhelm fighters, he removes their options. By the middle of most fights, opponents stop executing strategies and start surviving exchanges. Once that shift occurs, the contest is effectively decided, but the deeper truth matters. Dominance at lower weight classes is often dismissed by American audiences. Power is expected to diminish as fighters move up. Speed is expected to normalize. Yet Inoue carried both attributes into higher divisions, forcing analysts to reconsider him not as a regional sensation but as a legitimate pound-for-pound presence.
The whole package, I believe so. If you want to see a fighter that got the whole package, he's one of them. Definitely, for sure. I don't really see myself really, like, fighting him. Like, that would be a reach.
Do you have a favorite fighter now that's active?
Ishan, like Naoya
Inoue, amazing fight.
Yeah, he's a good fighter, and I hope that he will accomplish in different weight division also.
I definitely got that one wrong, and Inoue, we know he's a quality fighter, but I have to give him props. You know, great performance and.
To understand why American boxing was unsettled by Naoya Inoue, you have to understand how he builds finishes. Most knockout artists rely on aggression, but Inoue relies on sequence. The early rounds function as data collection. He studies reactions to the jab, notes retreat patterns, and measures which side opponents favor when pressured. By the 4th or 5th round, he isn't guessing, he's executing. When he was knocked down early in a recent fight, critics briefly sensed vulnerability and imagined momentum shifting. Instead, Inoue reset immediately. He minimized unnecessary exchanges, re-established distance, and attacked the body with greater purpose. The 8th round finish wasn't emotional retaliation, it was systematic correction. That distinction separates danger from discipline. His bodywork is often underrated because highlight reels favor the final blows. Yet the body shots form the architecture of his strategy. They drop the guard, restrict movement, and slow reactions just enough for clean combinations to land. American fighters analyzing him now study patience as much as power, and that creates the central tension. Dominant champions eventually meet opponents who disrupt rhythm, refuse predictable reads, and force improvisation. Inoue has rarely been pushed into prolonged chaos. Audiences continue watching not because they expect defeat, but because they want to see whether anyone can break the sequence.
Is it smart? This guy is selling out massive arenas, massive stadiums in Japan. Does he need to come to the States, in your opinion, to level up? Or is he one of those rare cases who should just stay at home because he's such a big draw there?
No, boxing's a worldwide sport. I mean, if you can fill out stadiums or arenas like Inoue does consistently all the time, why do you need to go to America? Now, look, I understand the want to go to America. If there was a big American fight, then it kind of makes sense, right? Let's get him in, I don't know, Vegas, or as you mentioned, Madison Square Garden against an American. but there is no big American to fight. I mean, the big names really are in Asia. Nakatani is one of them. There's been a lot of talk about a guy called Nick Bull. We'll say a guy, you know who Nick Bull is, featherweight champion. There's been some talk of that. That's not going to happen in America. So this want to get him to America all of a sudden to appease fight fans, I don't quite get. This guy does incredible numbers in Asia.
And still as fast as lightning.
Yeah, the power that he possesses, but it's not a thumping power. It's that explosive speed, that explosive power, the footwork he gets in position. And all of a sudden he's landed 3, 4, 5 shots and then he's angled off. A lot like I did in my fight against Lopez.
I have very fast. Yeah, it's a compensation. You know, like, it's a very strong guy.
A big crowd, doesn't he? He's an absolute superstar in world boxing. And this was another exquisite performance.
He doesn't need drama or controversy. His fights close cleanly, and that clarity unsettles divisions because it leaves no space for debate or excuses. So when people say Naoya Inoue shocked America, they don't mean he publicly embarrassed opponents. They mean he removed the alibis fighters and fans often use to soften results. In boxing, stripping away excuses, leaving only the evidence of skill and preparation, might be the most intimidating statement a champion can make.